Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. Man falls from apartment building in Nagoya's Sakae district. 23-year-old woman killed after being struck. In the early morning hours of the 19th, a man fell from an apartment building in Nagoya's Sakae district, striking a 23-year-old woman who was walking nearby. She was killed in the incident. According to police, the man who fell is also in critical condition with loss of consciousness and is currently receiving treatment at a hospital. Authorities are actively investigating why the man fell from the building and the circumstances surrounding the woman's presence at the scene. Whether the fall was accidental or the result of other circumstances is expected to become clear as the investigation proceeds. 20-year-old university student dies after falling into sea during SUP activity in Yokohama. A tragic accident occurred in the sea near Hokkaido in Yokohama early on the 19th. A 20-year-old male university student who was engaged in SUP, a water sport where participants stand on a board and paddle across the water, fell into the sea and was swept away. A rescue operation was conducted by the Coast Guard, but the student was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. Authorities are currently investigating the detailed circumstances surrounding the accident. While SUP is a water sport that has grown increasingly popular in recent years, experts emphasize the importance of wearing proper safety equipment and checking weather and sea conditions before engaging in the activity. Extreme heat expected across western Japan and Hokuriku region. Hokkaido warned of heavy rainfall. Western Japan and the Hokuriku region are experiencing extreme heat today, with temperatures exceeding 35 degrees Celsius reported in many areas. The Japan Meteorological Agency is urging the public to take thorough heat stroke precautions, including frequent hydration and adequate rest. Special attention is being called for the elderly, children, and those working outdoors. Meanwhile, Hokkaido is experiencing heavy rainfall due to a frontal system and low-pressure system. Please exercise caution regarding flooding in low-lying areas and swelling rivers. As rainfall is expected to intensify, please check the latest weather information and evacuate early if necessary. With rapidly changing weather conditions expected nationwide, please prioritize your safety and take appropriate precautions. National High School Competitive Karuta Championship held in Shiga as students battle for top honor. The national championship to determine Japan's best high school competitive Karuta players is being held centered around Omi Shrine in Atsu, Shiga Prefecture, known as the Sacred Ground of Karuta. High school students selected from across the country are participating in intense competitions. Competitive Karuta is a traditional sport using the Hyakunin issue, a collection of 100 classical poems, and requires both speed and accuracy in taking cards. The competitors maintain serious expressions as they watch their opponents' movements closely, concentrating intently while listening carefully to the recitation to quickly snatch the cards. Omi Shrine is a historic venue where Karuta tournaments have been held since ancient times, and the high school students gathered from across the nation are giving their all on this stage to pursue the national championship title. Charlie Chaplin's classic, City Lights, comes to life as traditional Bunraku puppet theater in Osaka. Charlie Chaplin's timeless masterpiece, City Lights, has been adapted into a performance of Bunraku, traditional Japanese puppet theater. The production opened on the evening of the 18th at the National Bunraku Theater in Nihonbashi, Osaka. This staging, based on the 1931 American film directed by and starring Chaplin himself, represents an ambitious attempt to express the worldview of his work through Japanese traditional performing arts. The touching story of a kind-hearted vagrant struggling with poverty and his fleeting romance with a blind girl is brought back to life with fresh appeal through Bunraku's precise puppet manipulation and narration. The culturally fusion performance is garnering attention both domestically and internationally. UNESCO World Heritage Committee begins today. Strong outlook for registration of Asuka and Fujiwara palace sites. The UNESCO World Heritage Committee will convene in Busan, South Korea, beginning today, the 19th. The committee will deliberate on the registration of new World Heritage Sites nominated by various countries. Asuka and Fujiwara palace sites, nominated by the Japanese government, is a significant group of archaeological remains from the Asuka period located in Nara Prefecture. This heritage site is highly evaluated as a valuable cultural property demonstrating Japan's process of ancient state formation, and prospects for its registration have strengthened. The results of the deliberations are expected to be announced in the coming days. Communist Party Chair Tamura calls for government to urgently implement additional price control measures. At a speech at Communist Party headquarters, Party Chair Tamura expressed concern about the current economic situation. He stated that as the yen continues to weaken and the Middle East situation remains protracted, the impact on people's livelihoods is expanding. He demonstrated a strong stance in demanding that the government urgently implement additional measures to combat rising prices. Chair Tamura indicated his recognition that current measures are insufficient, and stated the party's intention to strengthen its efforts to pressure the government going forward. Team Mirai holds first party convention since founding, calls for democracy in the AI age. Team Mirai held its first party convention since its establishment. Party leader Anno outlined in his speech a new form of democracy that leverages AI technology. Specifically, he stated the party aims to use artificial intelligence to quickly and deeply listen to a broad range of public voices and reflect them in politics, thereby creating a society where more people's opinions are incorporated into policy decisions. The remarks underscore the importance of innovating traditional democratic practices in this increasingly digitalized era and narrowing the gap between citizens and politics. Team Mirai's strategy has become clearer as an emerging political party seeking to expand its support base by championing political reform through technological innovation. Government to examine practical issues including procedures for accepting adopted heirs following passage of revised Imperial House Law. The revised Imperial House Law, aimed at securing the number of imperial family members, has been enacted. In response, the government plans to move forward with discussions among relevant ministries on practical matters, including specific procedures for accepting male descendants in the male line from former imperial families as adopted heirs. Multiple items are expected to require examination, including verification of the adopted heir's identity, requirements for obtaining imperial status, and the establishment of a princely title. The government is expected to proceed with formulating detailed operational rules based on the law and coordinating with the Diet and other relevant bodies going forward. Chuo Shinkansen maglev construction to begin in Shizuoka Prefecture as Junior Central and Shizuoka reach agreement. Significant progress has been made in the construction of the Chuo Shinkansen maglev line. On the 18th, Shizuoka Prefecture and Junior Central signed a Natural Environment Conservation Agreement. This agreement is a prerequisite for beginning construction work, and with its conclusion, the project is finally moving forward after a prolonged stalemate in Shizuoka Prefecture. The agreement explicitly stipulates measures to protect the ecosystem of the southern Japanese Alps and preserve the water environment of the Oi River. Junior Central will now move into full-scale construction preparation, aiming for service between Tokyo and Osaka to begin in 2027. The Chuo Shinkansen maglev is expected to serve as next-generation transportation infrastructure, traveling at speeds of up to 500 km per hour and significantly reducing travel times. Apple raises iPhone prices in Japan by approximately 10%. American IT giant Apple has raised the selling prices of iPhones in Japan by roughly 10%. The price increase is seen as a response to the recent depreciation of the yen. While Apple has been adjusting iPhone prices globally, the Japanese market has been subject to similar measures. The main factor is believed to be the rising yen conversion costs of products priced in dollars due to the weak yen. In the competitive smartphone market, there are concerns about the impact on consumer purchasing power, but Apple says it sets prices based on product value and demand. Future sales trends in the Japanese market are drawing attention. EU proposes easing emissions regulations and overhaul of carbon trading system, taking industry concerns into account. The executive branch of the European Union announced a reform plan on the 17th for its emissions trading system aimed at reducing greenhouse gases. The system allows companies to trade carbon dioxide emission allowances allocated to them on the market and serves as a cornerstone of the EU's climate change measures. The latest reform proposal includes easing emissions regulations and expanding support for businesses. While the EU is advancing its decarbonization efforts, the proposal reflects concerns from the industrial sector about potential loss of international competitiveness due to stricter environmental regulations. The move demonstrates the EU's commitment to supporting member states' industries while achieving its climate goals. Russia's military invasion of Ukraine, developments for July 19, updates. We bring you the latest on the situation in Ukraine. Russia's military invasion of Ukraine continues, with intense fighting unfolding across multiple regions throughout the country. Ukrainian forces are mounting a desperate defense, but as the fighting intensifies, many civilians are being forced to flee abroad in search of safety. On the international front, diplomatic tensions are deepening between Russia and the countries supporting Ukraine, and we are closely monitoring developments aimed at resolving the conflict going forward. We will continue to bring you the latest information from the region. U.S. military conducts 8 consecutive days of strikes against Iran following soldier deaths. U.S. Central Command announced it carried out 8 consecutive days of strikes against Iran, beginning the morning of the 19th Japan time, in response to the deaths of 2 soldiers who were responding to Iranian attacks. The military says it used unmanned drones and missiles to target Iranian military facilities. The series of military operations demonstrates a further escalation in the conflict between Iran and the United States. As tensions in the Middle East region continue to rise, the international community has expressed serious concern over the expanding confrontation, making dialogue between the two countries an urgent priority for resolving the crisis. Hungarian president to resign as new government moves to reform political system. Hungary's parliament has passed a constitutional amendment that will force the resignation of a president appointed under the previous administration that had clashed with the EU, or European Union. Prime Minister Mahal has signaled through this decision a commitment to reforming the political system, and the move is seen as advancing reforms aimed at tackling corruption and strengthening judicial independence. In recent years, Hungary has faced criticism from the EU regarding democracy and the rule of law, and today's measure is drawing attention as a move aimed at improving relations with the European Union. England defeats France 6-4 in third-place match at 2026 Men's Soccer World Cup. In the third-place match of the Men's Soccer World Cup in North and Central America, held on the 18th at Miami Stadium in the United States, 19th Japan time, England defeated France 6-4. England secured a thrilling goal-scoring battle, with Bukayo Saka achieving a hat-trick among other impressive performances. What no one wanted to play became a match no one wanted to end. The bronze final between England and France turned into a wild, wide-open affair with 10 goals scored. The Three Lions of England accounted for 6 of those goals. There was every possibility that even more goals could have been scored. Saka became the second England player to achieve a hat-trick in a World Cup. The first was Geoff Hurst, who accomplished the feat in the final of the 1966 tournament. As a player to score a hat-trick against France, Saka is the first since Pelé in the 1958 tournament. With this victory, England recorded both their best men's World Cup results since winning the 1966 World Cup hosted in England, and their best result in a tournament held abroad. Today's match became the World Cup third-place match with the highest total number of goals. The previous record was the 1958 tournament, when France defeated West Germany 6-3. This marks the first time since the 2002 World Cup that England has defeated a team ranked higher than them by FIFA, when they beat Argentina. Atmosphere detected for first time on Earth-like planet around distant star within habitable zone. For the first time, an atmosphere has been detected on an Earth-like rocky planet orbiting within the habitable zone of a distant star. Researchers say this discovery represents the most compelling evidence yet that planets with Earth-like environments exist beyond our solar system. Helium, a gas unsuitable for sustaining life, has been detected in the planet's atmosphere. However, other gases may also be present. Dr. Colin Shervim of Harvard University, the lead author of the study, described the discovery as remarkable. This is the first case where an atmosphere has been detected on a rocky planet in the habitable zone of another star. The planet, called LHS 1140b, is located 48 light-years from Earth. It orbits around a red dwarf star that is much smaller and cooler than our Sun.